Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of UnPack Pittsburgh Happy Hour. Today we're here at Coughlin's Law in Mount Washington.
Yes, so what is UnPack Pittsburgh, you might be asking yourself. UnPack Pittsburgh is a new entertainment company. We launched about 2 weeks ago with the goal to unpack the people, places, and products that make the Steel City so great. So with that being said, we have several different avenues where we're highlighting them. The content, which Alaina can talk about in a second, the podcast, which I host, and then the happy hour, with the goal to recap what UnPack Pittsburgh has done for the week, but also what's going on in Pittsburgh. And although we are enjoying the food and the drinks here, we hope to have a bigger production in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned. So why don't you introduce yourself and how you fit into UnPack and kind of what you've been working on.
All right, so my name's Alaina Wodarek. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I graduated from Baldwin High School in 2020. I am a senior at West Virginia University now. I'm majoring in fashion merchandising, minoring in social media marketing, and for the summer I am back in Pittsburgh working on content. As you said, I'm a content creator working with businesses, and for UnPack, we are visiting different restaurants, businesses, boutiques, and giving them a little highlight reel to post on our social media accounts.
That was excellent. And by the way, she was very nervous to do this.
Oh my God, stop.
I'm just saying, it's good to know. You're doing fantastic. So Alaina has been very focused on creating the content. So if you've gone to Instagram and soon to be TikTok and some of our other social platforms, she manages those accounts. She also creates the content, and you visited a few cool places recently. Why don't you talk about some of the places that you've been to?
Yeah, so our first stop was at the Strip. We started at Coffee.
And by the way, we are not editing this, so this is what it's going to be. But we do promise that it's going to get better. It's La Prima or something like that.
La Prima. Yeah. Awesome stop. I got an iced caramel latte. So good.
People are going to think we've had 7 drinks. This is our first drink. The waitress has been fantastic. In fact, we talked to one of the managers here who runs the social media, so she might swing by. That'd be cool to have a guest. I envision the UnPack Pittsburgh Happy Hour being something more fun, where we do have some interesting cocktails. I'm having the old-fashioned, where I guess Knob Creek provided a special barrel for them. You're having, talk about what you're having. That's interesting.
Yes, this one is the pickle and blue cheese. So pickle vodka, pickle juice, and an olive with blue cheese in it. But
so it's basically a martini, but instead of dirty olive juice, it is pickle juice.
Yes.
And then we had a conversation before we went on camera. What is vermouth? AKA vermouth. So the goal would be to have some guests come by and get to know some people of Pittsburgh, whether it be the owners of the establishment that we're in, the management of them, or we might even bring some guests of our own. So Alaina is currently at WVU. And what's your major again?
Fashion merchandising.
But you want to get more into content, is that right?
Yeah, well, my minor is social media marketing, and I'm a content creator, so hand in hand I'm learning through school how to benefit my own accounts and also help with UnPack.
Well, we appreciate that for sure. You've been fantastic. So the way that Alaina and I have met is so my full-time job is at Stonewater Salon Spa. I sit on the leadership team. So if you're in the South Hills and you want an amazing haircut, nails, massage, facial, spray tanning, teeth whitening, all the above,
they got it all.
Stop at Stonewater. So Alaina came in as a guest, I believe, first, right?
Yeah, I've been coming to Stonewater since I was in 5th grade.
So only a couple years ago. And then so then she started creating content for Stonewater, which has been fantastic. You helped launch some new service providers as well as new services. Gel X, I think, was your last one, maybe. And then when UnPack Pittsburgh and the UnPack brand has been an idea of mine for a few years now. So it's been, with it not being my full-time job, it's kind of taken a lot longer than expected. So we're good. We're good. Yeah, thank you. So it's taken a little longer than expected, but then when Alaina started creating content for Stonewater, I saw an opportunity where she might be able to help do the things that I absolutely suck at. And I legitimately do suck at creating content. And Alaina has been, what do we say, the Robin to my Batman as far as my ideas. I want to go to places and highlight them, but the video that I created was foggy and blurry.
Greasy.
Wow. It was just bad. Let's just say that. And she came in, and then we probably have, six videos on the social page now?
Yeah, we're trying to post every day now. So.
Yeah, so about a little over a week and a half. We're new, and we're only going to get better. But I think as long as we keep our eyes on the prize of really highlighting, making the main character of the story, the people, the places, and the products that make the Steel City so amazing, I have great hope that this brand and this company is going to have some great conversations with some great people and really be able to highlight not just products and not just bars, restaurants, things like that, but kind of get behind who the male or female or the person behind the actual brand. I think the origin story of a lot of companies mean a lot to me. So that's that. Alaina doesn't like when we talk, so it's kind of awkward to have a podcast with her. But, so, let's talk about how we've gone to 2 golf places. Well, I didn't go to the second golf place. You went with your boyfriend. But the first place we went to was called On Par. It's in the Strip District. And, do you remember her name? We might have to cut this.
What is it? Jane?
Jan. I thought it was Judy, but it's Jan. Jan is absolutely a fantastic human being. I want to support On Par. If you're listening to this, she'll be on the podcast in a couple weeks, but she's a fantastic person. Her story is absolutely awesome. It is not just about golf for her. It is just everything for her. So we got to go there and create some content. Ironically, I'm a golfer. Jan's a golfer. We both missed our putts, and you made your putt in the video.
Duh.
So that was interesting how that got cut like that. But then you also went to a 5-iron. How was that? I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, 5-iron was amazing. I was never really into golf. I'm starting to appreciate it more now. But it was super fun. The food was great. The drinks were great. Like, you just expect, to have golfing there, but it was a whole experience. It was really fun.
Anything with golf is always awesome, so I'm sure it was a blast. I got to check it out.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
There's a few other ones. There's another one that popped up in Pittsburgh, too, and then obviously Top Golf, Cool Springs. There's a lot of, that makes me happy, a lot of options regarding golf. So if there was something that UnPack could unpack for you, like if we could go somewhere or do something, being a fashion person, being a content creator, is there something a place that we could go that would really inspire you, or something that you might say, wow, this was worth my time?
Yeah, I would definitely love to highlight more of the boutiques in Pittsburgh. I used to work at one, Vintage Grace Boutique, back in high school, but they're super cool because the pieces you find there, not everyone has, so it makes your wardrobe a little different from others. You find some unique pieces. Also thrifting. Thrifting's huge now.
Okay.
I used to be a real germaphobe and scared to do it, but I go now and I find such cool things, things you don't find anymore. Some vintage pieces, designer pieces. Definitely try that out.
I was watching a documentary, and actually, I don't know if it's sustainability or whatever they were trying to say, but the reuse of clothing and the production, all the bad stuff it happens to the environment with building clothing, how important it is to thrift and to reuse clothing. So I'm sure there's some positive elements with that.
Yes, definitely. I took a whole class on sustainability.
Oh, wow.
Last semester.
So you used the right word.
Yes,
Good.
Good job. Yeah.
By the way, this I just made on Amazon for $5. UnPack Pittsburgh. Yeah. All right. So I'm hoping that the social media manager of this place will stop by. She seemed pretty eager to talk. Where are we? Why don't you tell them where we are again?
Coughlin's Law in Mount Washington.
So one thing for this show, we're going to ramble a little bit because it's episode 1. We don't have guests. We're literally out here filming content, and we thought this is the week that we start it. Next week will be a little bit more polished. But there's something really big happening in Pittsburgh that I don't think that we can not mention. And what is that?
Taylor Swift concert.
So you told me, first of all, getting here was an absolute disaster. I put in the GPS Redbeards on Mount Washington. My GPS took us to the Redbeards in the heart of downtown, so we were fighting off Swifties like nothing else.
Yep.
Then we decided to abandon the car and take the incline for content, and that took forever. While we were waiting, there was a hailstorm and rainstorm, so it's been a minute to get up here. We tried a few places, which you'll see content-wise. We've had a few misses on some things.
Few locked doors, yeah.
Yes, but we're here. This place is fantastic. I've never been here. I've seen it before. They sold me on some old-fashioned that's special to only here, some Knob Creek Special Barrel, which I thought was fantastic. The pickle martini-ish thingy is pretty cool. So I really hope the manager can stop by. But as far as Taylor Swift goes, you told me that you've been to a Taylor Swift concert before?
Oh, yeah, several.
Several?
Several.
So would you consider yourself a Swiftie?
I can't say I'm a full Swiftie. I feel like I would offend the real Swifties. You know, she's great. I love
never
Taylor
want to
Swift.
offend a Swiftie.
No.
I feel like they travel
She
well.
was over there.
Oh, we're going to get her.
We need her.
We don't know her name, but we're going to get her. She gave me a card that was very basic for this place. I don't know her name, but we're going to get her on here. So she's going to jump on. And one thing I do want to say that I'm going to post this. Like I told you that this might be practice, but I want to post it. It's not going to be perfect, but life isn't perfect. But I think it's important that we start somewhere, and we're going to get better at explaining what UnPack Pittsburgh is, kind of highlighting the places that we've been that week, but then also kind of being a source of what's going on in Pittsburgh. And as we get deeper into the communities, we're going to be able to provide better information. But I think it's good for us just to do it, stop making excuses and get something going. But I think it's also great practice. I talk a lot, actually too much, some people might say. But I think it's good practice for you to kind of start becoming a little bit more in front of the camera instead behind the camera. Because we don't know each other on a personal basis. We've worked together a few times, so we really don't know how to roll or jive with each other. But I think it's important for this kind of event, the more practice, the better.
Definitely.
Boy, she talks a lot, guys. So we're going to try to go get... Do you want me to try to go get her? And then you can just talk to the audience, just you?
Yep.
I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to go get her. So here's Alaina with a few amazing words.
All right. Hey, guys. I was actually super nervous to do this, but I feel good right now, so thanks. Let's take a sip of my pickle drink together. Very, very good. Be sure to follow us at UnPack Pittsburgh on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Oh, you're back.
Sorry.
I was talking to them.
Continue.
I was telling them to follow us on socials.
Yeah, so we're very new, about a week and a half. We have over 100 followers. That's right, 100. And I wanted to get balloons that have like 100 to celebrate. She thought it was corny, so I decided not to do it. But I think it is important to celebrate wins. We'll celebrate 1,000. Jordan, we got a chair right here. It's in the camera.
All right.
Let me take this off. So you gave me a card, but it was generic. It didn't have your name on it. What's your name?
My name's Tracy.
Well, here, say it into the thing. Right there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy. I'm part of the ownership team. Been here for 5 years now. Just hit 5 years in April.
Oh, congratulations.
No, thank you.
So this place has been here for...
5 years since April. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I have to ask, during COVID, did you guys close?
The place that we're sitting right now, when we first opened up in 2019, we switched this into a little takeout area.
Sweet.
So
Smart.
the way that it looks now is completely different than it did in 2020.
Okay.
And you could basically get tacos and get some other like margaritas and things like that to go. So we were doing takeout through 2020. And then when the seating went live in like Pittsburgh, things went really crazy for us because of the outdoor dining.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here.
We're very fortunate for that. When everyone was, kicked out of inside, we could thrive.
Yeah, it's
so
absolutely
just when it
gorgeous
rained,
out
it was
here.
really funny. That was really what it is. Because
And
we couldn't let anybody in, so we would just give them like umbrellas. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
clever.
I don't know what to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Because you can't come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where we're located, it's Mount Washington, considered.
Yeah.
So we're kind of away from the madness, but it's like legitimately a perfect location. So I don't know what the closest incline is. We unfortunately took the farthest one and had to walk 2 miles, it felt like.
Yes.
But so what can you tell people who might not know about this location or this spot? No, you're good.
So we are next to the Duquesne Incline.
Okay, there you
it's
go.
about a block from where we're sitting right now. You just walk down the hill next to our building, or you can cut down through Shiloh Street, which is the business district that's in
Okay.
Mount Washington. We are kind of on the outskirts of the business district. Just they call it the business district, the main drag on Shiloh Street, where
Okay.
most of the bars and restaurants are. That are up here, and the other little shops. There's like a flower shop, the bank, just all that kind of stuff is about a block from us down the hill. But yeah, there's plenty to do for sure, and we're very fortunate that we get the view right off the back. So
Yeah, no, this is a gorgeous, have you been here before?
No, I haven't, but it's been on my list to come.
Yeah, this is a really cool place.
Yeah.
I've walked by and I've seen people. I've always wanted to come, and this was the one thing that we needed to stop into.
yeah.
So is there a dish? So it was funny. So when we came here, we were setting up and she gave us a recommendation. I feel like she named everything on the damn menu. That is amazing. So obviously you have great food, great drink. What is your personal favorite food and personal favorite drink?
So on this current menu, we change our menu seasonally. So we're now in our summer menu, obviously.
Okay.
On this current menu, the Chipotle Peach and Bacon is my favorite burger that we have.
Ooh, okay, that's the messy one you were talking about.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It has goat cheese on it. It's with the Chipotle onion, so it's a little spicy and a little sweet because of the peaches and stuff on there as well. It's like a peach chutney, and then obviously with the goat cheese, so good. It's definitely messy, but delicious. And it's a strange combination that sounds like, oh, like what are they doing? But it's so good. And then cocktail-wise, you have one of my favorites in front of you, the Pickwood and Blue.
Oh, yeah.
It's a play on a dirty martini, and then the pickle vodka that we use is a local company called Rusty Musket, and they actually are from PA. So we get their, supporting local is such a big deal for us.
That's
and
huge. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
That's the whole show right
Yeah.
there.
And they do a great product. They have different bourbons. They have just regular vodka, but the pickle really stands out to us because it's very unique. And you
Okay.
can't find anything like that at a liquor store that is like this. So,
Okay.
so that's
One of the places that you created content for in the Strip District was a liquor store that was all local. I wonder if they carry some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's a smaller place. I think they've only been in production for maybe 2 years.
Okay.
It hasn't been very long yet.
Yeah.
They just started going out to bars and restaurants,
Nice.
and distributing like that. And they're just trying to get their name out. And, we were really fortunate to try some of their products. They have some seasonal stuff, too. They do, like, a ginger snap whiskey that they do, like, around Christmas time.
Christmas time? That'd be fun.
Like, they
That's
have
cool.
some cool stuff around the different seasons. But
That's cool.
The staples, too.
You start to see that more in the alcohol industry, I feel like, is like trying to get creative and flavors and trying
sure.
to get new clientele. And
For sure. And just kind of open up the door to somebody because the bourbon market's, like, tough. You can't compete with the big guys when you're making a small bourbon unless
Yeah.
you really knock it out of the park. So
Yeah, but I do feel like, so I lived in San Diego for a long time, and I feel like people would say that about the beer industry, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, craft brewing and all this thing, and then all of a sudden people wanted to buy local beers to San Diego or wherever they're from. So I do feel like there is a movement for local distilleries, wineries, breweries, where people like to support. Like, I've traveled. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm from TJ. She's from Baldwin, and so we're local. But I travel a lot, and there is always some tie to Pittsburgh, whether it be through the Steelers or just the Yinzer population or mayonnaise. I don't know what it is. So when you were cutting through here, before we started filming, you said that do you run the media or social media stuff?
Yeah, so I do our social media in-house. I kind of started as like a need to have kind of deal.
Sure.
When we were first opening up, since we were in kind of like an obscure spot, not like in the main drag of the business district, I started making YouTube videos about what we were doing.
Oh, that's cool.
And my best friend was taping me, like just talking like how I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And she was saying like, she was like, we're just walking around, and then like there was nothing here. It was just like a beat up kind of building, and we were just going on a tour. This is where the kitchen's going to be. This is where this is going to be.
That's cool.
Here's the view off the back, you know.
This is like the very start.
The very start,
like
yeah.
5
so
years
it kind
ago.
of like opened the door for me to start doing our social media, just because it's important now to just have contact with customers and and be able.
Ask questions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Alaina runs our media page.
Yes.
She creates the content.
Yeah.
This is forcing her to be in front of the camera. So she'll ask you some questions about your social media page. And then I know you got to get back to work. Ask some questions.
Okay.
I love that he's just shoving you in front of the camera.
He does this all the time. What's like your favorite content to make? Like with the food, drinks, like.
I think from the restaurant standpoint, I like to try to think about what not everyone else is doing, because the big thing about restaurants, you see the food, you see the drinks, but that's what everyone's doing. So I try to think outside the box a little bit and talk about the staff, talk about special features or parties or other things that we're doing for events, and just not just here's a picture of this beautiful food, here's a picture of this drink. Try to think of something else,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really great because that's what really gets like the community engaged.
Mhm.
Are you running a TikTok too?
I am petrified of TikTok. I'm going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I'm almost 40. TikTok scares the crap out of me. I just kind of got my footing with Instagram, and a lot of our staff, I have some like 21-year-old waitresses that are trying to push me to go on
Yeah.
TikTok. I'm also nervous about dancing on camera, and I know it's a lot more quick, high energy kind of stuff. I definitely have investigated, but
It's also about your demographic, right? Like
sure.
you need 21 and up. I
Yes.
mean, ideally you make your money probably on alcohol sales more than food sales.
For sure.
So as nice it is to say you have a TikTok presence or a Twitter presence, the goal of marketing is to get clients.
For sure.
The goal is to let people know about this amazing place,
Mm-hmm.
sit out on this amazing patio. Yeah, the food's amazing, but like my guess is you guys want to sell this.
And more so too, I like having that communication open, because people will message us the most random stuff, or not even just random, just, hey, what are your hours today? Hey, can I bring my dog to the property? Hey, can I make a reservation? Hey,
Are you animal friendly?
We are service animal friendly, so as long as they are service animal, they're welcome here. And then if for some reason, if it's like, even if it's like emotional support or whatever, we can accommodate all that.
Okay.
And then, or they'll ask about like booking parties and things like that. I like having I'm a person behind the account, so then they know that they're when they ask a question, I'm going to answer.
Yeah. And making it personal is what this is all about.
For sure.
UnPack Pittsburgh could easily just be a platform where we highlight things,
Mm-hmm.
but as much as it's uncomfortable for her, I think that this is the most important part, because if you know the story behind the company,
Yeah.
you're more likely to choose that or not choose it. But
For sure.
like we have a choice where to spend our money. And Pittsburgh, although still not dominating, it's up and coming. And we've been the food capital. We've won some awards in the past couple years pre-COVID. But I would say that the restaurant industry and bar industry and club industry still has room to grow in our
sure.
city,
For sure.
especially compared to other cities. But like you mentioned parties. Talk about parties. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, I've been there before, I never thought about a party. This is an awesome location for a party. Talk about that.
So where we're sitting at, this is like our side patio, and because it's more weather pending, we don't like do anything out here. But across from us, we have a front patio that's completely enclosed and is covered and can be heated. So we can do those parties year round. and it wraps
Is that
around.
where you were when I just saw you with the balloon arc and stuff like that?
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's for
very
Taylor.
Cool.
That's for Taylor.
All right. Hashtag Taylor. Taylor Swift is going to drop by the podcast in a couple of minutes too. So I'm just kidding. Don't offend the Swifties.
Yeah. So anyway, so the patio wraps around the whole front of our restaurant. So if it's a smaller event, we can do like a 20-person party at the bar, a little more light, meeting for a happy hour or whatever. And then we have a more formal space that's out back that we rent out for rehearsal dinners.
I didn't
and
see that yet.
Yeah. So if you guys, once we're done with this, obviously we can't just get up and leave. But the behind on our back patio, you get a view of the city.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
It has low top tables, and we do that for like rehearsal dinners or birthday parties, things like that. They're a little bit larger events. So back there we've done parties of 50 or more. So
50 or more, okay.
Yeah, so if the parties are larger, they take over some of the inside of the restaurant as well, just depending on like the table layouts and things like that. But it's a beautiful space for an event. And my favorite part is that you can change it. So
Nice.
we have high top tables that are available in the restaurant and low. So if you want something a little more casual, you can transform that back patio. You can make it all high tops if you wanted.
Oh, that's
and there's been a lot of angry male staff that get mad at me when I ask them to move every table in the restaurant back and forth.
It's all for the guests.
That's
So
correct.
So one thing that is so important to me is the customer experience. So
For sure.
this isn't my full-time job. I'm on the leadership team for a salon spa, about 50 employees, 2 buildings. So we manage both the staff and the guest experience, right?
Yeah.
And as I was just telling her, like, after UnPack starts to go, we get all the right pieces in place, I want to focus on experience.
Yeah.
I feel like, and this is my opinion, we won't even call it 2 cents, we'll call it 1 cent, is I feel like we've stepped away from a status quo of what customer experience should be like. And it's become awkward to talk to staff about why it's important to create such a great guest experience.
For sure.
And that's what I do on my full-time job, Monday through Saturday, is making sure that we create an amazing guest experience. So as far as the guest experience or client experience, whatever the verbiage you might use, what are some of the things that set you guys apart from other places?
So my favorite thing about like when you see a Google review, which are huge for restaurants, if you have a good experience, leave a review. It makes such a big deal. But when it's not the food or the drinks that gets mentioned, when it's the staff. That is my favorite part. Oh, this server I had was so great on this day. I want to come back and see them again. So we are very fortunate in that our team really works together, and that's a big deal. They like saying thank you to each other, which I think doesn't happen in a lot of other restaurants. If I bust your table, they say thank you to me, and I say, well, that's very nice of you. And now the guest hears that interaction and understands that we're all here working together, and we actually enjoy being here. It's not just like a job for us. So
Something simple but so important.
So important. Yeah, I totally agree. But that as being a manager and an owner, when somebody writes that review and mentions their server, that's the icing on the cake. So,
Yeah. What do you want to be known for? Like Coughlin's Law has a great patio or a great bar. Like, what is your thing?
How we were talking about the guest journey, when the guests come in, I want them to feel like they're hanging out at a place they've been to 100 times. That they're here,
I feel like that. I mean, this is so welcoming. We legitimately just walked in. You got us a table. We're talking to you. Like this feels like we were like locals. So like,
Yeah.
I've been to Mount Washington like 3 times in my life.
Yes, that's it. That's pretty much the vibe. So, of course, we want you to enjoy your food. Of course, we want you to enjoy your drinks. But it's more about, like you are correct, it's more about the whole experience. That when you come in, you feel comfortable. You want to hang out forever. You want to enjoy yourselves and, and be able to talk about this experience to your friends. That you had a good time with this server, with this bartender, whatever it is, and feel like you want to come back again. So, yeah.
Awesome. So I know we pulled you from actually working. You can stay as long as you want. You don't ever have to go back to work.
Luckily, I was just building a
But
Taylor Swift balloon arch. So
I saw it. We might try to get some footage of that. So wait, are you guys doing something specific for Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
or-
So tomorrow and Sunday for brunch, we're doing it all Taylor Swift themed. So it's going to be themed cocktails, themed food items.
Give us some
and,
themes. Like
I don't have the menu in front of me now. You're putting me on the spot. Like we have a drink called Red Lip Classic that
Wow,
we're
okay.
going to have on the menu.
All right.
Of course, we're doing a Lover and a Lavender Haze. And we're doing a Bad Blood Orange Fashion.
Wow. All right.
So yeah, so that's some of the cocktails. And then the food items, we're still kind of like working out the kinks. We have till tomorrow.
Yep.
But it's just gonna some fun little twists on stuff that have to do with Taylor, and then we have a playlist that we're gonna be playing that's all Taylor Swift. We actually were asking people on Instagram to put their song requests in.
All right.
So
okay.
So there are gonna be some highlights for that. But yeah, it's just gonna be fun. And I'm a little nervous. Somebody from Canada found out we were doing it, so that was like holy moly. So I'm very anxious.
Were they coming here from
Canada? Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. I mean, I'm a fan of Taylor Swift. I think she's fantastic. As far as superstars go, if you want your daughter or someone to emulate, she doesn't seem like I don't know her, but she seems like a good human.
Yeah.
So more power to her and the Swifties.
Agree.
I don't know much about her. I know a few songs maybe.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I'm getting caught up in the Taylor Swift mania.
Sure.
I'm kind of pissed I didn't buy tickets.
And the beautiful thing to me, as being from Pittsburgh, I'm born and raised, just the energy that she's bringing.
Yeah.
Because with so people started coming in kind of yesterday and into today because their concert's tonight and then tomorrow. But everyone that's going, they're super psyched to be here. And
for sure.
You can't get a hotel. Restaurants are booked.
Yeah.
So all she's doing this influx of people into the city, so it's only going to help us.
Yeah, as far as Pittsburgh is concerned, it's huge,
For
right?
sure.
If you're a bar owner or a restaurant owner,
or a hotel or a B&B,
all that stuff
anything.
is huge.
Yeah.
This is what Pittsburgh needs. And I go to Star Lake. I think it's called Star Lake. I know it's
Who knows
changed
what it
names,
is now.
but I have to admit, and I will be there, and we'll be doing some footage from there. It is a totally different experience
For sure.
when the show is at Star Lake or whatever it's called, than Heinz Field, which is really now Acrisure, or PNC, or something downtown. San Diego has a great downtown location, right? Everything's there. So the bar owners, all the stuff we just mentioned, they prosper because of that.
Because of it.
And it's just so cool. When we were walking, we literally rode the wrong incline up, and we were walking, and it was so obvious who was going to a Taylor Swift. And I made the joke, hey, are you guys going? They're like, yeah, what gave it away? You're you're in cowboy boots, a pink sequence thing. Yeah, you're going to Taylor.
Out to the nines.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if there's anything that you want to share before you bounce on us, that someone watching might be able to do for you or for the business, is it private parties? Is it just come and have a drink, get to know you? Obviously, come and have an experience, which is, before I let you answer, I do want to say something because I want this to be real, is when we got here, we talked to her, and I said, what is good? And I was trying to help Alaina. I'm like, what's good for photos, for content, and all this stuff? And you were like, no. Get something that you want.
Yes.
I want you to truly enjoy this experience. Don't fake it. And that's so important because, honestly, I was going to get whiskey anyway, so this really worked out. But, what is something that, some kind of call to action to the community, or just letting them know, how can they help?
So we just recently started opening for lunch, which has been maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks now we did for the season. So we're really pumped about lunch.
Nice.
Just trying to
name a lunch item. Other than a
our
burger.
full menu's available.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And we do our weekly specials for lunch too. So if you come in at 2:00 on a Monday, you can get a $4 beer. So
wow,
yes.
$4.
Yes, and we have craft beer too, not just Miller Lite. We have craft beer.
Wow.
So
you can't buy anything for $4 anymore. For real, you can't buy anything for $4. I bought her a Hershey bar, and it was $10.
Yes.
You can't buy anything for $4 anymore.
So we're trying to just build up that community, because I remember when lunch was a big deal and people always went to lunch, and now it's kind of fell off after COVID, and just because hours got weird with work and blah blah blah. We're kind of trying to just get back to normal kind of time where people go out for happy hour, people want to go to lunch, things like that. And really, this is our time of year right now. Obviously, we're sitting outside in the
and it was it was pouring and hailing no lie 30 minutes ago, and now it's gorgeous.
Yeah, so come enjoy the patio.
Pittsburgh.
This is the time to come out and enjoy the patio. So we have it here for the guest experience. So
awesome.
Just come and
well,
see
I
us
really
out.
appreciate you stopping in. This is an absolute fantastic. I will let Alaina ask the last question. So think about one last question. No pressure. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's going to really enjoy this question. But I really do appreciate the hospitality.
For sure.
We've gone to a lot of places, and we do want to give our honest opinion. It's not our job to shit on businesses. That's not what we're trying to do.
Gotcha.
But what we're trying to do is really highlight, like I said a couple times, the people, places, and products of the Steel City. that make it so unique and amazing. And we've
appreciate
known
it.
you right off the bat. It feels like we've known you forever. This place feels like home.
Good.
So now the
Appreciate
moment
that.
you've all been waiting for.
Dun, dun,
Here's
dun.
Alaina's question.
I think we've asked enough questions.
All right, so close the show. Close.
So thanks for watching our first episode, Coughlin's Law. Come and see it. Peace out.
Thank you so much.